let me ask you something a little personal. Have you ever felt that deep, almost aching desire to make a man feel so emotionally connected, so completely seen, that you become impossible to forget? That he wakes up thinking about you, smiles during the day remembering something you said, and falls asleep with your voice echoing in his heart? If you've ever wished to have that kind of power, not in a controlling way, but in a deeply loving, soul-binding way, then you're about to hear something most women never get told. The truth is, it's not about giving extravagant gifts, cooking him 5-course meals, or trying to be perfect all the time. That's not what stays in his mind. It's not the expensive perfume or dressing up every time you see him. It's something much simpler. Something surprisingly gentle, yet profoundly effective. It's the words you choose. Specifically, it's the way you name him in love. Yes, I'm talking about nicknames, but not just silly or random ones like babe or boo. I mean emotionally charged names, words that reach directly into his heart, the kind of names that don't just make him smile. They make him feel like your world, your warrior, your one and only. These nicknames aren't just terms of endearment, they are emotional messages disguised as sweet nothings. And when used the right way, they become powerful little keys that unlock parts of his heart he didn't even know were closed. You see, when a man hears a name that touches his soul, something shifts inside him. He doesn't just feel loved, he feels chosen, valued, admired in a way that speaks directly to his masculinity and emotions all at once. Today I want to share with you 10 of the most emotionally magnetic nicknames men secretly love to hear. These aren't names you'll find on a random internet list. These are names that create an emotional imprint, and I'll also tell you how to make them personal, so they don't just sound cute, but feel like a secret bond only the two of you understand. Now, let's talk about why nicknames even matter in the first place, why something so small can have such a deep emotional effect in love. At first glance, nicknames seem like something playful, a little joke between lovers, maybe even something silly. But in reality, they carry emotional weight. They're like soft little reminders that say, "You're mine," without ever needing to say it out loud. They communicate closeness, affection, and ownership, not in a possessive way, but in a way that makes both of you feel safe and treasured. Nicknames build intimacy in ways most people overlook. When you give someone a name that no one else uses, it becomes like a little secret. It belongs only to you and him. It creates a bubble, your own little world, and every time you say it, you reinforce that special bond. It's emotional safety wrapped in a single word. A good nickname doesn't just make him feel liked, it makes him feel known, loved in a way that goes beyond logic. And here's something powerful: the right nickname can boost his confidence more than compliments or flattery. When you give a man a name that reflects his strength, his passion, his soul, it lights him up. It reminds him of who he is to you, and sometimes who he wants to be. It makes him want to rise to that role, to step into that version of himself that he sees reflected through your eyes. These names add magic to everyday life. You could be doing something completely ordinary, folding laundry, cooking dinner, watching a movie, and then you softly call him by that name, and suddenly the moment becomes intimate. It becomes a memory, a heartbeat between you, something sacred in the middle of the everyday. That's the quiet power of words. But not all nicknames will have that effect. That's the part most people miss. The most powerful names are the ones that are thoughtful, personal, and emotionally connected to your relationship. They're not one size fits all. They reflect who he is to you and what your connection means. So let's explore some of those deeply romantic, emotionally charged nicknames that can melt a man's heart and bond him to you on a soul level. One that's incredibly grounding is my anchor. Use this one for the man who calms your storms, the one who brings peace to your chaos and stays steady when life feels like too much. When you call him your anchor, you're not just admiring his strength, you're telling him that he is your safe place. That when the world feels like it's spinning too fast, he's the one that makes it all slow down. That's powerful. That's not just love, it's trust. Another one is heartthrob. It sounds playful, yes, but it's full of fire. It's not just about the way he looks, it's about the way he makes your heart beat faster. It's a way of saying, you still have that effect on me. Whisper it in his ear when he least expects it. Say it when he walks into a room and you want him to know you noticed. Use it when you're cuddled up next to him and want to remind him that he's not just your love, he's your desire. Now let's talk about captain. This one is for the man who wants to feel like he's guiding the ship of your love story. It's for the man who takes the lead with strength and pride. When you call him captain, you're telling him that you trust his direction, that you feel safe following where he leads. It also gives him a little playful authority, something many men secretly crave. It makes him feel admired, not just loved. Then there's soulfire. This one is for the deep emotional connection, the kind that's not just romantic but spiritual. Soulfire is the name you give the man who lights something powerful inside you. A fire that's not just about attraction, but something you feel deep in your bones. It says, you touch my soul. That's not something he'll hear from anyone else. And that's exactly why it stays with him. And this is just the beginning. These names are emotional bridges, ways of expressing affection, passion, safety, and admiration in a way that touches the heart without needing grand declarations. They're tools of emotional intimacy, and once you understand how to use them, they can completely transform the way a man feels about you. You're not just another woman. You become unforgettable. Because in the end, love isn't always about the big things. Often, it's in the tiny details. The softness in your voice when you call his name, the way your eyes light up when you see him, the emotional meaning behind the nickname you whisper in the dark. These are the things that make him feel like he matters, like he's not just loved, but cherished. So don't underestimate the power of calling him something special. And don't be afraid to make it your own. Add a little inside joke to it. A memory, a piece of your shared history. That's what makes it unforgettable. You now have the emotional tools. What matters is how you use them, because when you say the right words in the right moment with the right heart, it doesn't just make him feel good, it makes him yours. Next one is for the man who doesn't just stir your feelings. He awakens something ancient and powerful in your soul. He's the man who touches parts of you that you didn't even know needed to be seen. This is the man who lights your fire emotionally, spiritually, romantically. When you call him this name, you're not just giving him a label, you're giving him a truth he may not have ever heard before. When you look into his eyes and say, you don't just touch my heart, you set it on fire. You're calling him your soul fire. And trust me, he's probably never been called that in his entire life. That's why it hits differently. That's why it lingers. Then there's champ, short for champion. It might seem simple, but the feeling behind it runs deep. This nickname isn't just about achievements or titles, it's about the way he shows up for life, and especially for you. When he handles your heart with care, when he overcomes challenges with quiet strength, when he makes you feel protected, even when things get hard, that's when he becomes your champ. This name reminds him that you see him as a winner in the ways that truly matter, that in your eyes he already has the victory. You're saying, you've already won me, and not because you're perfect, but because you're real, strong, and mine. Now let's talk about something more poetic, soft and emotionally rich. Moonlight. This one is delicate and beautiful. It's for the man who calms your storms, not with noise, but with stillness. He might not be loud, but his presence speaks volumes. When the world feels heavy, he brings peace. When your mind is loud, his voice soothes. When you call him moonlight, you're saying, "You're the soft glow in my darkness, the peace I crave when everything else feels too much." It's an incredibly romantic way to tell him he's your quiet strength, your gentle place to land, your moment of beauty in the middle of chaos. If you're looking for something bold, playful, and full of flirtatious energy, then Rockstar is your go-to nickname. This one is electric, it's fun, it's spicy, and it's perfect for the man who makes ordinary moments feel like they're straight out of a music video. This name isn't just about the way he carries himself, it's about the vibe he brings. He walks in and suddenly the room feels more alive. He talks and people listen. He smiles and something in you lights up. When you call him Rockstar, you're saying, "You're exciting, you're unforgettable, you bring the beat to my life." And whether you're texting him, "Good morning, Rockstar," it's powerful. It's personal, and it's unforgettable. That's what makes this nickname so special. My muse isn't something you throw around casually. It's sacred. It holds weight. It carries a feeling of being chosen, not just loved. This name works beautifully in the most tender, emotionally open moments. When the room is quiet, the world fades, and it's just the two of you breathing in sync. Maybe you're curled up beside him, your head resting on his chest, lost in your thoughts while your fingers trace little circles on his skin. Maybe you're both daydreaming out loud about what your life together could look like, your hopes, your crazy dreams, your soft fears. That's when this name blooms. It's poetic, it's dreamy. It reaches beyond the physical and dives into the emotional. It's not about how he looks, it's about how he makes you feel on a soul-deep level. When you call him my muse, you're telling him he's not just a man to you. He's the art you never expected to find, the rhythm in your silence, the story you never knew you were waiting to write. It's the kind of name that says, "I don't just see you, I feel you, and trust me, no man forgets being the one who stirred your soul." That kind of impact doesn't fade. It leaves a beautiful echo inside him. But here's where the real magic begins. The most unforgettable nicknames, they aren't just pulled from a list. They're born from your love story, from the tiny, precious details that no one else sees, the inside jokes, the sweet routines, the quiet habits you two share that feel ordinary to others but feel sacred to you. That's where personalized nicknames come alive. So think for a moment, what's something he does that makes you smile without even realizing it? Maybe he makes the world's fluffiest pancakes every Sunday without fail. Call him Chef, or Chef Love if you want to make it even more romantic. Maybe he's the one who fixes everything around the house, always tinkering, always figuring things out like it's second nature. Then why not call him Mr. Magic Hands? It's sexy, it's playful, and it's specific to who he is with you. Maybe he's that man who never misses a morning text, the one who greets you with love before the day even begins. Why not call him Sunrise? It's soft, intimate, and filled with meaning. It says, "You're the first light in my day." That's what makes a nickname feel unforgettable. It's not the word, it's the feeling behind it. These names aren't just words you say out loud. They're memories wrapped in affection. Tiny symbols that say, "I notice you, I appreciate you, I love these little things that make you who you are." If you're not sure where to start or which name to try, don't worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. The beauty of nicknames is that they grow with time. Here's how you can ease into it. First, start simple. Try something that doesn't feel too out of the ordinary. Maybe even a light twist on something he's already used to hearing. The goal is to let it land naturally. Let it breathe. Say it softly in a relaxed moment and see how he reacts. Next, match his energy. If he's the funny type who loves to joke around, then give him a nickname that's playful and light. If he's more serious or quiet, then pick something that feels deeper, more soulful. The nickname should reflect his vibe. He should feel like it belongs to him. And above all else, be genuine. Don't try too hard. Don't pick a name because it sounds cool or trendy. Choose one that truly feels like him, and let it come from a place of real affection. The best nicknames aren't forced. They come from moments, from feelings, from love. Now here's the trick. Watch his reaction. A good nickname doesn't just make him smile. It makes him light up. If he smiles a little wider, teases you back, or starts using it on himself, you've found a winner. That's your cue to keep using it. Because now it's not just a name, it's a shared moment. A memory you've created with nothing more than a word and the emotion behind it. So many people overlook the small things in love, but the truth is, it's always the little things that matter the most. A soft glance, a late night laugh, a gentle nickname whispered in the middle of a busy day. That's what builds emotional connection. That's what turns ordinary love into something extraordinary. Words have power. And when you choose the right one at just the right time, you can shift something inside your man that he didn't even realize was waiting to be moved. You can make him feel seen in a world that often asks him to hide his emotions. You can make him feel valued in a way that reaches beyond surface level praise. You can make him feel deeply loved, simply with the sound of your voice. So tonight, try it. Choose a nickname. Whisper it when he's not expecting it. Say it softly when you're cuddled up, or playfully in a text just to make him smile. Let it be your secret way of saying, "You matter. I see you. You're mine." And then watch what happens. Watch the way his eyes soften. Watch how he pulls you closer. Watch how his heart responds, not just to the word, but to the feeling behind it. Because when love is real, even the smallest things become unforgettable. And your voice? It just might become the one thing he wants to hear more than anything else. Or, leaning in close and whispering it when the moment gets hot, it tells him he's your main act, your headliner, the one who makes your world feel more alive. Next comes a name that taps into something primal and deeply emotional. Protector. This isn't just about muscles or strength. It's about the man who gives you emotional security. The one who makes you feel like you can let your guard down, like you can breathe because he's there. When you call him protector, you're not just feeding his ego, you're nourishing his soul. You're saying, "I trust you with my heart. You make me feel safe. You make me feel cherished." And men, even the strong silent ones, carry this deep need to be needed in that way. It's in their nature to want to protect what they care about. So when you recognize that, when you honor it with a word as beautiful and sacred as protector, it stays with him. It becomes part of his identity. And you become the woman who saw the warrior in him. Now let's shift to something more artistic, more romantic, and even a little mystical. My Muse. This name is something out of a dream. It's for the man who doesn't just inspire your love, but your creativity, your softness, your depth. When you call a man your muse, you're saying he stirs your inner world, that his presence awakens something beautiful inside you. You're telling him You don't just live in my heart, you dance through my thoughts, you move me. It's not about him being flawless, it's about the way he makes you feel, about how your love for him shows up in the way you write, speak, feel, or even the way you look at the world. A man who hears that he's your muse will never forget it, because in that moment, he becomes more than a partner. He becomes a part of your soul's expression. Men might not always admit it, but being seen this deeply, it changes them, it softens them, it opens them, and it draws them closer to you. Because while most people compliment surface things, his looks, his job, his body, you're reaching for something more. You're touching his spirit. You're showing him that your love doesn't just skim the surface, it dives. And that's rare. That's precious. That's what makes him think of you in quiet moments. That's what makes him come closer when other people fade away. When you choose words that feel intimate, personal, and emotionally charged, you create a language that only the two of you speak. You're telling a story with every nickname, a story about trust, connection, desire, comfort, and belonging. And when a man feels that, when he feels like he's not just wanted but deeply understood, he doesn't pull away, he doesn't forget, he leans in. So don't be afraid to name the way you see him. Don't hold back from giving him something emotional to hold on to. Let your words carry your heart. Let your voice be the place where he feels most alive. And above all, remember, it's never about how perfect the name sounds. It's about how it makes him feel. And if it makes him feel like your protector, your muse, your anchor, your rock star, your one and only, then you've already said more than most people ever will. Let me know if you'd like the script to be extended even further, or if you want more emotionally charged nicknames added in the same style.